Somebody paid $47,800 for 4 steel walls and a roof. No plumbing, no electricity, no insulation, just a shell standing in an empty field. What happened next is the part nobody shows you. $90,000, a few hundred work hours, and one single slope roofline later, that shell became a full-blown home. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a wall of glass that turns golden every evening, and a final price tag that still undercuts almost every house on the block. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly where every one of those $90,000 went down to the square foot. And I promise you, at least one number in this breakdown is going to surprise you. Before we get into it, hit that like button. And if you're even a little bit obsessed with barndominiums like I am, subscribe, because I break these builds down every single week. And I want to know, after you see this floor plan, would you actually live in it? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. Here's the thing about a single slope roof, also called a monopitch roof, it's not just a style choice. It's an engineering shortcut that happens to look incredible. 1 roofline, fewer problems. A traditional gable roof has 2 planes meeting at a ridge, which means more framing, more flashing, and more places for water to find its way in. A single slope roof is 1 continuous plane running high to low. Less material, fewer seams, faster install. And that savings gets passed straight down to the buyer. And the tall side of that slope? That's where the magic happens. Builders stack floor-to-ceiling windows or clear-story glass right under the high edge, flooding the interior with north-facing light that never turns harsh. The steel frame advantage most buyers don't know about on top of the roofline savings. The entire structure is built on a clear-span steel frame, the same post frame or metal building technology used for agricultural barns for decades. That means no interior load-bearing walls. The buyer gets to decide where every wall goes, which is exactly why open floor plans have become the signature look of the barndominium movement. A 1,200 square foot home sounds small on paper. In person, it doesn't feel small at all, and that's entirely down to design decisions, not square footage. The open concept core, the kitchen, living room, and dining space share 1 continuous footprint with no walls breaking the sight line. A long island doubles as the only real divider, which means the eye travels the full width of the home in one glance, a trick that makes 1,200 square feet read like 1,800. Where the bedrooms go on the low side of the slope, where ceiling height naturally drops, the 2 bedrooms and both bathrooms tuck in efficiently. Lower ceilings, there aren't a compromise. They're intentional. Builders reserve the tallest volume of the house for the space people actually spend their waking hours in. The porch that isn't just a porch, a covered porch, runs along the glass wall side of the home, extending the living space outdoors under the roof's overhang. It's shade in the summer, shelter in the rain, and it adds real usable square footage without adding real cost, since it's just an extension of the existing roofline. Laundry and storage. Solved tucked behind the kitchen is a mudroom laundry combo, a small detail that ends up being one of the most requested features in every barndominium I've covered. It keeps mess, shoes, and dirty laundry out of the main living space entirely. A house this affordable still has to survive wind, rain, and time, and that's where the engineering earns its keep. Built to a real structural standard, these steel frame kits are engineered to meet local wind and snow load codes before a single panel ships, with load ratings stamped by a licensed engineer. That's not marketing, it's a legal requirement to pull a building permit in most counties. The slab foundation does more than you'd think. The home sits on a reinforced concrete slab foundation, which anchors the entire steel frame against uplift. In wind-prone regions, that anchoring is often the single biggest factor in whether a structure survives a severe storm intact. Where the real weatherproofing happens, spray foam insulation gets applied directly to the interior of the steel skin, which does 2 jobs at once. It seals every seam against moisture intrusion, and it gives the home an insulation performance that a stick-built house often can't match without paying a premium for it. The glass wall isn't a weak point. That dramatic glass wall under the high side of the roof uses tempered, insulated glazing rated for the same wind pressures as the steel siding around it. It's not a compromise on safety for the sake of a view, it's engineered to hold up right alongside everything else. Alright, this is the part you've been waiting for. Let's actually open the books. Where the first $47,800 goes, that initial number covers the steel frame shell kit itself, an on-site assembly, the engineered frame, the roofing, the exterior siding, and the trim. For a home in the 1,200 square foot range, that lands right around $40 per square foot, which sits comfortably inside the $30 to $50 range shell kits are running at in 2026. At this stage, you have a weather-tight building. You do not have a house. The foundation next comes the concrete slab foundation, running roughly $8 to $14 per square foot once you include reinforcement and site prep. For this build, that's somewhere in the $9,000 to $11,000 range. The interior build-out where most of the budget actually lives, here's the number that surprises almost everyone. Interior finishing insulation, drywall, flooring, kitchen cabinetry, plumbing fixtures, electrical wiring, and HVAC typically eats up 60 to 70% of a Barndominium's total finish cost. On this build, that puts the interior build-out somewhere around $70,000 to $75,000, which is nearly double what the shell itself cost. Adding it up, shell and assembly roughly $48,000. Foundation roughly $10,000. Interior finish out, plumbing, electrical, and HVAC roughly $80,000. Add in permits, utility hookups, and a contingency buffer, and you land right at that final number, $138,000 for a fully finished, code-compliant two-bedroom home. How that stacks up at roughly $115 per finished square foot, this build actually lands on the lower end of the $120 to $175 range most 2026 Barndominium builders quote, which tells you the savings from the single slope roofline and the open steel frame layout weren't just cosmetic. They actually moved the needle on the bottom line. A few things about this build genuinely catch people off guard. Fact 1. The kit is the smallest slice of the pie. That headline-grabbing $47,800 shell price is only about a third of the total cost. Most first-time buyers budget around the kit price and get blindsided 8 months later when the real bills start arriving. Fact 2. The shop space math works in your favor. If any portion of the footprint is left unfinished as shop or garage space, that square footage costs roughly a third of what finished living space costs because it skips insulation to living standard, HVAC, and interior finish work entirely. Fact 3. Appraisers finally trust these homes in states where Barndominiums have become common: Texas, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Missouri. They now appraise within 5% of comparable stick-built homes per square foot because appraisers finally have enough comparable sales to value them fairly. Fact 4. Resale depends entirely on your finish choices. Barndominiums with neutral, broadly appealing finishes, white walls, luxury vinyl plank flooring, shaker-style cabinets sell fast and hold value. Highly personalized finish choices can slow resale down significantly, especially in markets where Barndominiums are still rare. Let's actually walk through it because a cost breakdown only means something once you see what it bought. Entering under the high side, you step in directly under the tallest point of the slope, where that wall of glass immediately pulls your eye across the entire open living space. The kitchen and island. The kitchen runs along the back wall, with the island acting as the only real boundary between cooking and living space, keeping the whole footprint feeling like one continuous room. Down the hall to the bedrooms, head toward the low side of the slope, and you'll find both bedrooms and bathrooms, each sized efficiently but never cramped, with the lower ceiling height creating a noticeably cozier, more restful feel than the open living space up front. Out to the porch and just off the living room, sliding doors open onto that covered porch, the unofficial favorite room of the entire house, according to nearly everyone who's ever toured one of these builds. $47,800 for a shell. $138,000 for a finished, two-bedroom home with a floor plan that genuinely competes with houses twice its price. That's the real story behind the single-slope Barndominium boom, and now you know exactly where every dollar of that gap goes. So tell me, after seeing that floor plan and that breakdown, would you actually live in this home? Drop your answer in the comments, hit subscribe if you want more real cost breakdowns like this one, and I'll see you in the next video.